Massive news around Arsenal Football Club in the last hours. A player that is reportedly wanted by a lot of clubs, but he choosing Arsenal. We'll talk about Hincapie, the centre back, left back that plays for Bayern Leverkusen. Also news about Saka and how many games he will miss and this extent of the injury after the scans and after the reports that came out yesterday. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about him being wanted by the likes of Chelsea and by the likes of Spurs and him choosing Arsenal over everyone else. We'll talk about that as well. But before we go on, I want your help. I want your help with YouTube. We're on the way to 50,000 subscribers. So please, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel for daily news. Turn on the notification bell, of course, and also the like button helps this video and helps the channel being actually discovered by more people. So the like button looks like thumbs up underneath the video. So if you hit that, I'll be very grateful for you. And leaving a comment below to tell me what do you think about Saka and what do you think about Hincapie after listening to the video. And I will ask some questions in the middle and you guys answer them. But listen, the story now has been, it's one step at a time. It is reported first by Fabrizio Romano that Hincapie, the guy that plays for Bayern Leverkusen, is a left back, sometimes is a center back, is actually attracted to Arsenal. Before we go on and show you the video and what Fabrizio Romano have said about rejecting Spurs and accepting the Arsenal talking official bid, why do Arsenal need Hincapie? It's reported that Kivior has asked to leave the club, and there is a bid from Porto that is worth 20 million that probably is going to arrive soon to Arsenal Football Club for Kivior. Kivior, who has had 2-3 good games for Arsenal last season, but a lot of people consider Kivior not good enough for Arsenal. This guy, why do Arsenal want Hincapie and how good he is? The guy, number one, I'm going to say this, I watch his reels, I watch his highlights, I watch some games of Bayern Leverkusen. He is built for the Premier League, the physicality, the speed, the way he tackles. Also, he's good in crossing. So he has the offensive part of the game and also the strength, the aggressiveness he has in tackling. He is going to be similar to Gabriel at Arsenal. However, plus what Gabriel has, he is very good going forward as well from the left back position. Do Arsenal need him if they let Kivior go? Probably. Because Calafiori now is being established as a left back for Arsenal with Marlos Kelly, who might move forward. Zinchenko might leave as well. So Arsenal need an extra player to cover for Gabriel, who had a hamstring injury last season. So if Gabriel is out, if he's out, God forbid, Arsenal would need a centre-back to come in to play next to Saliba. And if Kivior leaves, Hincapie is a massive upgrade in Kivior. As it's reported that he's attracted to the Arsenal project and is very keen to the move from Bayern Munich. The move will only happen if Zinchenko and or Kivior deport. And as I reported, there is a bid that is coming in for Kivior for Arsenal Football Club. You let me know, guys. Do Arsenal need an extra defender? Or Arsenal should stick to Calafiori and Miles Lewis-Kelly and Timber and Ben White? Should they invest in somewhere else? This is my first question to you guys. Should Arsenal invest in different areas? For example, attacking areas, a winger, getting a Rodrigo or getting a Semenyo or getting someone up top on the left. It's better than investing in a centre-back. Or should Arsenal go for someone like this who's very versatile and can help the team go forward and actually play centre-back instead of Gabriel? Fabrizio also have reported that initial talks have started now. So the story keeps developing. The Arsenal have started from the player side with personal terms, not expected to be an issue. So Arsenal will agree personal terms with this guy. No bid yet, as Kivior for Porto and Zinchenko exits are important. So Arsenal are waiting for this. However, after an hour or two, Fabrizio have actually told us something else. The Arsenal have started talking to Bayern Leverkusen. And I actually think that this is a very good signing for Arsenal. Someone who can cover that level. We know that Calafiori has injury history. And we know that Gabriel might need rest this season, especially after coming from the hamstring injury that happened last season. And that is why, but listen, before we go, there was the report coming from Bill that Chelsea have inquired about the player. But quickly they moved away. Why Chelsea need him? To cover for Colwell's injury, who's going to be out for the rest of the season. But again, Fabrizio Romano tells us that the guy is only attracted to Arsenal and he only wants Arsenal. For some whatever reason, Arsenal are having something in this window that is different than a lot of people. The Eze situation, the Zubamendi, You know, these players chose Arsenal, and Arsenal are very good in convincing players to join the club. I want you guys to listen to what Fabrizio said because it's very key to him and the Spurs. And this is the Tottenham Hotspur. This is Fabrizio Romano. Earlier, before he links him to Arsenal, he said that Spurs are approaching Bayer Leverkusen for Hincapie. So Spurs were interested in him. But later, just after he reports this, he tells us what we're going to see now in this video. Just listen to this video to understand what is going on.
We have a big story of the day, because I told you in a video last night that Piero Hincapié, the Ecuadorian left-footed defender from Bayer Leverkusen, decided to leave the club and asked the club to leave in these final days. Available for a release clause, 60 million euros, but all clubs will try to reduce that. Well, my understanding is that in the morning, Tottenham, via intermediaries, sent a bid to Bayer Leverkusen for Piero Hincapié. That bid is total, the value of...
So I don't want anyone to tell me that Spurs are not interested in the player. They were in for the player. That's just what Fabrizio said.
The clause, 60 million euros, but it's a loan with obligation to buy with different payment terms in many years. Is not an immediate payment as requested by the release clause. So not working at the moment for Bayer Leverkusen, but also for the player, because the player at the moment is in direct conversations with Arsenal. Arsenal have made their approach.
Another player icing Spurs to wait for Arsenal. Daniel Levy need to take a hard look at themselves, and Spurs projects look okay, right? It looks good. I'm not here slagging off Spurs. However, when Arsenal come in the line, now the players think twice about moving to a different club, to Spurs, for example.
With the agent of Piero Hincapié, Arsenal are talking to Piero Hincapié representatives, and they have not approached with an official bid yet by Bayer Leverkusen, only informed directly by Bayer Leverkusen of their interest in the player. For Arsenal, the Hincapie story depends on two factors. The first one, how to sign the player, because Arsenal are not expected to put 60 million on the table to trigger the clause and get the player. So Arsenal are looking at a different kind of solution, of structure for the deal. And then the other topic is the exits. Zinchenko could leave. Jakub Kiwior, I told you last night, official bid is coming soon from Porto. They already had one rejected in July, so let's see how much is going to be this new bid. But Porto want Kiwior, and Kiwior could leave before the end of the window. Porto, from my understanding, could offer more than 20 million euros for Jakub Kiwior, and so Hincapie Arsenal could be an interesting topic. A player who can play at centre-back, at left-back when needed, left-footed. So Arsenal are looking at this opportunity, especially based on what happens with Kiwior and with Zinchenko, or with Zinchenko. But for sure, it's going to be an interesting topic of these final days. Meanwhile...
So that's what Fabrizio said. And then he comes later and say, also make official approach to Bayer Leverkusen. So it was only agreeing the terms. So Arsenal wanted to see if the player is going to join them. And then once the player said he's very attracted to the project and he wants to join, Arsenal make official approach. So they're asking about the conditions of the sale. It's not official bid yet, but it's an official approach. So they asked Bayer Leverkusen, keep us in the loop. We're going to bid for the guy once we sell Kiwior. And the player is interested in joining Arsenal. That is a massive deal for Arsenal, because Arsenal wanted someone like this to replace Kiwior. They want an upgrade. What I'm going to tell you from now, that Arsenal is kind of similar to Liverpool. They are upgrading every position. So Liverpool are buying Ekitike, they bought Wirtz, they're trying to go for Isak. So they're upgrading from Darwin Núñez, they're upgrading from Szoboszlai, they're upgrading from the late Diego Jota with Isak, and Arsenal as well. They want to upgrade from Kiwior to Hincapie. I believe that Zubamendi is an upgrade from Thomas Partey to Zubamendi. They upgraded from Kai Havertz and Jesus to Gyökeres. They bought Eze, which is a massive upgrade from Martinelli and Trossard to Eberechi Eze. Arsenal are upgrading. The winger position, Reece Nelson, Madueke, that's an upgrade for the backup. So Arsenal are trying to make their team better by signing players that are better than the ones they have, even the backup ones, which is very good for Arsenal, to be honest with you. This guy, I think he's going to be a hit for Arsenal. He's a very good player that can play, as Fabrizio said, and as I mentioned before, left back, center back. That is massive for Arsenal. Now, of course, here is a report that Arsenal will hijack another Tottenham target. The desire is to get Hincapie. That was reported earlier today. So Arsenal are in for the guy. Now, to the other news that I wanted to show you. Before we actually go, this is the Sami Mukbil, what he reported about Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka is expected to miss up to 4 weeks for Arsenal. Up to 4 weeks. It can be less, but maximum it's going to be up to 4 weeks, right? Now the City game is after the international break. The timeline is consistent with grade 1. So as I told you yesterday in my video that it will be a grade 1 or tightness. And it turns out to be a grade 1. So that means it's 2 to 4 weeks in the hamstring. It's easy to recover. It doesn't require a surgery. It's something that recovers by itself. The muscle heals. The fibers heal by themselves. And he's going to go back to the same Saka as before. But the good news, as it is not the same hamstring that was injured before. Right? Will he be actually be back for the Nottingham Forest game or the Man City game? These are the games that Arsenal have after the international break. They have Nottingham Forest and then the Champions League and then Man City. Worst case scenario, he will be back for the Man City game. Best case scenario, he's going to be back for the Forest game. Probably he's going to be back for the Champions League game. In my honest opinion, he might be rested against Liverpool. He might be rested against Nottingham Forest, of course, and that is a key game, but I think it should be an easy game for Arsenal playing against Nottingham Forest. I know they have low blocks, but now you add Eze. Odegaard will be back. Now you have Madueke, who can be backup for Saka. So now you have Eucharist. Low blocks of Nottingham Forest should not be a problem for Arsenal, in my opinion, and that is why I would rest him. But worst case scenario is going to be back for Man City. So the news are saying that is surely should be back for the Man City game, which is at home, at the Emirates. So that is something to keep an eye on. Bukayo Saka, it's good that he's not going to play for England in the weeks, in the international break. That is very good news for Arsenal, so he will get his rest. Guys, no Arsenal need. A lot of Arsenal fans are worried, though. A lot of Arsenal fans are worried, you know what I mean, about Saka and his hamstring and all the stuff. I'm just thinking a grade 1 hamstring injury is not the worst. It can happen to any player. It's just a small tear in the fibers of the muscle, so that it's very simple to actually recover. But the big news is it doesn't require surgery. The big news is it's not more than 4 weeks, which is basically 2 of them are gone in the international break. There's already people talking about him being back for the Forest game. That is very good. Let me know in the comment section. Would you guys rest Saka in the Nottingham Forest game as well? I want to know. Is that an easy game for Arsenal that they should be able to get by with Eucharist, Eze, and Madueke? That is good enough with Martinelli and Trossard on the bench as well. Nwaneri, there is Max Doman. You let me know in the comment section what you guys think, of course. And especially if you are here and you're still in this video, make sure I'm reminding you again, please hit that like button. It helps the channel. It helps the video massively. I will see you guys on the next video. Make sure to turn on the notification bell and actually subscribe to the channel if you are new. And I will see you guys later, of course.